Can you hold your laughter when watching the funniest scenes from Bluey? Choosing the funniest moments from Bluey is not an easy task, but I chose some to show you that made me laugh a lot. Like in the episode where Chili pretends to be a claw machine and gives a toy to each of the daughters, but Bluey thinks it's boring. So Bandit decides to do it his way, and then we already know something good is coming. Instead of accepting imaginary coins, he tells the daughters that they have to do some work to earn real coins and use them in the machine. They start doing chores around the house, and at that moment, Bandit and Chili have the famous dialogue.
They're learning a lesson and we get the house clean.
Neither of those things are happening.
In this same episode, Bandit, still pretending to be the machine, makes the girls lose the toy again. Bluey complains and says, "Dad, that's not fair!" At that moment, Bandit answers with the machine's voice.
I am Magic Claw. Magic Claw has no children. His days are free and easy.
We have to admit that these machines really are made for us to lose, so he is playing his role well. Do you want to see more funny moments like these? Then grab your popcorn and try not to laugh at these scenes I'm going to show, because another zigzag video is starting now. Remember when Bingo has to stay a few days in the hospital? By the way, until today we don't know what happened to her, but to cheer up her sister, Bluey calls the family to record a video, which she sends for Bingo to watch. It is the story of a little girl named Barnacus, who is Bluey, and her little dog Bumpy, played by Socks. Except that Socks is still 1 year old at this time, and she acts like a real dog. So much so that at the beginning of the video, we see Stripe's hands, her father, trying to keep her in place and then having to give her a biscuit so she behaves. And it is in one of these moments of her acting like a real dog that we see something very funny. Bluey, Barnacus and Bumpy, are walking through the backyard of the house when Socks decides to stop to poop right there. I can even picture Uncle Stripe stopping the recording at that moment to try to prevent the disaster, especially because he will be the one who has to clean up that little present. I bet Uncle Stripe learned a valuable lesson, but not as much as Bluey and Bingo in the next scene. One of the funniest moments in Bluey is when she and Bingo manage to convince Bandit to buy an ice cream for each of them. Bingo chooses the mango one and Bluey is unsure. She doesn't know if she should pick the same flavor as her sister or pick the strawberry one. In the end, she chooses the latter option because she can get a lick of Bingo's. Bingo agrees, but she wants a lick of the strawberry one too. Bluey gets worried about being the first to lick because when it's Bingo's turn, she might take a bigger lick. To solve the problem, they decide they will lick each other's ice cream at the same time. Except that to get close to each other's ice cream, they move their own hand with their ice cream away, and neither of them manages to lick it. The result is that they walk around in circles as if they were dancing together. They take so long that the ice creams melt completely, and they are left with nothing. They even complain to Bandit and ask for another ice cream, but he says no way. She says, "So we don't get anything?" He answers,
Well, you get a valuable life lesson.
"If you thought this lesson they learned was crazy, wait to see how Muffin showed up at their house at the sleepover party." Type #lesson if you've been through this too. On the day Muffin is going to sleep over at the healer's house, Bluey and Bingo managed to negotiate with Chili so they could sleep a little later. Except that when Muffin arrives, she is super strange, unable to make any sense. Uncle Stripe explains that she missed her nap, and that's why she's like this, because she is very sleepy. Because of that, Chili says they will only be able to play one game, and then they will have to go to bed. To still be able to stay awake late, they choose a long game, and so they will play restaurant. Bluey will be the wife, Bingo the husband, and Muffin their friend Sheila. But when they go into the restaurant, Muffin is passed out leaning on the plant. The sisters wake their cousin by calling her Sheila, and she answers.
My name is Boo Boo Babu.
Then throughout the entire episode, she acts as if she were drunk, even becoming obsessed with the garden flamingo. Did Muffin think the flamingo was her pet? Well, it's better than the pet that Bluey and Bingo get in the next topic. Like every child has done one day, Bluey and Bingo ask Bandit for a pet. He says no, because a pet ends up taking over everything, and he already has the two of them for that. They insist, and Bandit answers that they already have one, Sean the emu. "You don't fool me, Bandit, I know it's just your hand pretending to be an emu." And then begins Bluey's saga trying to prove that she can tame Sean. But he is very stubborn, and besides not obeying, he keeps pecking on everyone. He is as stubborn as Bandit himself. I wonder why, right? At one point, they decide to take him for a walk, and he makes a huge mess with a neighbor's mail. Chili had told Bluey to stay calm and controlled, and she tries to follow the advice. When they think it worked, he only stops pecking Pat when a bird appears, the Australian white ibis, which they call the bin chicken. But if you think Sean is a problem, wait until you meet Rita. We can't talk about funny moments from Bluey without talking about the Grannies episode, of course. In it, Bluey and Bingo decide to play acting as two grannies, Janet and Rita. They go to the kitchen, and when Chili sees what they are playing, she already gets worried. The two pretend that the kitchen is a market, and Bingo, or rather Rita, goes to look for beans. Chili joins the game and tries to warn that the store is closed, but Rita is a bit deaf. She comes back from the cupboard full of cans of beans under the blanket she is using. But the cans fall and scatter across the floor. Chili says that she needs to pay for that, and Rita runs off, but slips on one of the cans, falling on her butt on the floor. It's at that moment that she says the famous line, "That's what I call a dramatic exit." Now, if beans are expensive, imagine how much it's going to cost to fix this granny's hips. But you know what is free? Clicking the button and subscribing to our channel. In the Dad Baby episode, which was even banned from Disney+, Bingo finds the kangaroo-style baby carrier that the parents used when she was a baby. Bandit puts it on to show how to use it, and Bingo takes the chance and gets inside. At that moment, Bluey gets the idea to play that Dad is pregnant. Bluey tells him to act like a pregnant person, and they start playing. Except that Bandit is not used to a pregnant belly, and goes around knocking everything over in front of him, even Bluey. He even gets pregnancy hunger from how much he believes in the game. They go to the kitchen for him to eat, and he chooses some dim sims, which is a type of Australian dumpling. But every time he is about to bite one, Bingo grabs it for herself. She does this with all of them, and he ends up with nothing. But the funniest part is when it's time to give birth. They call Pat to help, and he even loses the cricket game because of that. After all this mess, the healers just want to rest, right? But of course that's not possible, and I'll show you now. January 1st is usually a day of rest, especially if you partied all night the day before. That's what happened with Chili and Bandit in the whale watching episode. The show implies that the two overdid it a bit in the partying, and now they are exhausted and very sleepy. But Bluey and Bingo don't want to hear it. They want to play boating to watch whales. Bandit, who is lying on the floor, plays the role of the boat, while Chili, lying on the couch, will be the whale. Bandit just wants to rest, but he has to pretend to be the boat going through storms, strong waves, and biting turtles. When it's Chili's turn to be the whale that jumps out of the water, she wants nothing to do with it and stays still. The girls get sad, until in the end, she finally decides to jump just like the whale from the movie Free Willy and falls on top of Bandit. So, did you manage to hold your laughter? Because I couldn't take it and burst out laughing several times.